So over the years teaching this class, I found that this text, which is used widely in all the universities across the, like most universities are using, there are like 2 or 3 textbooks. They are very similar. They're just, and what they do is every year they come out with a new edition where the problems are kind of maybe just moved around. Some colors are different in the book. Maybe they come up with a new edition, and the problems don't correspond. So you have to buy the new edition, and it's $150. Yeah, they can buy the used books and all of that. So this has been. It's always the same thing. Just new editions, just to keep the. But it's a big expense for the students. So with the OpenStax, that removed it with the open education resource. However, teaching this material for several years, found that the topics, it's just a sequence of topics that are chopped up. The real idea about this material, and maybe I should say a little bit about this. So the course is called Calculus Based Physics 2, which is the course that I'm been really working with. And it's the material that's covered in is electricity and magnetism. Now, at the end of the 1800s, so 19th century, it was discovered that electricity and magnetism are like 2 sides of a coin. They're a unified theory, which we call electromagnetism. But these textbooks still have that very ancient method where they do electricity, all things concerned with electricity, till they get through about 2/3 of the way into the semester, if you follow this textbook, right? And then eventually they get magnetism, and it's a mad rush to talk about magnetism, and if they can, to show the connection, right? So this wasn't serving the goal of teaching them electricity and magnetism, which is known for 200 or so years now, 150 plus years, that it's a unified theory called electromagnetism. One leads to the other, and they're very interconnected. So from that point, in the last few years, and actually when COVID happened, that was kind of a turning point for me, because we needed to teach this class online, and it's hard to teach a STEM class online. But so I needed to develop some material to teach the class online, like videos and some extra materials that I would usually do in class, but now I have to do this over Zoom. And it was a kind of a turning point where I felt like, if I'm going to develop anything, gonna develop something that that's meaningful, that is actually relevant to where the field is, what is known about electricity and magnetism, and we're giving the students a proper kind of idea about electricity and magnetism the way that we understand it now. So given that, I started coming up with this technique, with this sort of different approach called a unified approach to physics, to unified theory of electricity and magnetism. So instead of doing all things electricity and then moving on to all things magnetism, we're doing electricity and magnetism together from the get-go, from the first week of the semester. And we are showing every step of the way, we are showing how they are connected, how things are similar between electric fields and magnetic fields, and what's different, and how they are interconnected. So they see this all through the semester. I think it's a way better, the students are getting a lot more from the conversations that I've had with students, etc. I'm seeing that the students are getting a lot more out of it. I've been also doing some standardized testing that has been performed at some other universities to see what the students' learning gains are at the end of the semester, as opposed to when they enter the class. So it's all very positive and very encouraging, I should say. So this is where I'm at, and I'm kind of at a point, and maybe I'll just say this quickly. So I've moved on from using a traditional textbook and a free online homework setup to move to an open stacks like open OER textbook to actually developing my own content. So I'm in the process of trying to come up with the text using Pressbooks,